Hey friends, Stephanie Lalo here from Lalo Acres. So my gardens look amazing. There's tons of produce to harvest. Why don't you come along with me? We're gonna go out there, we're gonna get some tomatoes and some cowpea, and we're gonna do all the things, and you're gonna love it. Let's go. Alrighty folks, I started with my garden bed where my black-eyed pea, cowpea bush plants are. And I kind of checked them out and started pulling off all of the green pods first. I think I have about 6 or 7 bushes. And one by one, I removed all of the green pods first and just kind of removed them gently at the stem. Some of my plants had what looked like carpenter ants, and I just had to kind of brush them off. Here in Florida, we have all kinds of crazy insects, unfortunately. And so I'm just trying to get rid of that little ant there and pull off the pods, the green pea pods, and just making sure that I don't snap them in half. I don't want to damage any of the peas that are inside. And for any of you who don't know, cowpea, another name for it is black-eyed pea, are delicious. They're super easy to cook up. They're full of fiber and protein. They potentially can promote weight loss. They're good for your digestive tract and heart health. So they're really a great product to have in your garden, and they're super easy to grow. I literally just planted the seed and watered them, and here we are. And it's cold, and they're a cold hardy plant, so they seem to be doing just great. Once I finished the green bean pods, I moved on to my brown dried ones. Those are very dry. I left them on the plant a lot longer so that I could have a stable shelf life. And then here are the beautiful flowers of the beans, and they're going to continue to grow and produce more for me. And so yeah, I just love the way they look. That's a pretty good amount in my opinion. Then I moved on to my next garden bed where I have all of my tomatoes and my arugula, and I start pulling off the tomatoes that are yellow and orange. I don't like to leave them on when they get really red. Down in the south here, we have a lot of insects and stink bugs that like to eat the really ripened produce, and so I take them off with the stem and the leaf, and I put them in a bowl on the windowsill, and they ripen up just fine in the house, and I'm ensuring that I'm not going to lose a bunch of my produce. And then any other green tomatoes I just left on the vines, and I'll come back out in like 3-4 days, maybe a week, and see if any more have ripened up. With the nights being cold, they do take a little bit longer. They like the warm evenings, but I'm still getting stuff, so I'm happy. Next, I moved on to my green onion plant, or scallion. I have so many, and I thought, I'm gonna pull a bunch of stems off and add them to my tomato salsa that I'm gonna make, a fermented tomato salsa. I think that would add a great flavor. So yeah, I have so many, and we like to put them in like eggs, and I put it in my chili last night. Here are green bush beans. I have about a cup's worth on the plant, so I remove those. I'll either let the kids eat them raw, or I'll add them to a salad, or I'll even just steam them up and add some fresh dough, which I also harvested. And those are a great side dish to any meal. Here I have a few broccoli florets. I'm going to add them to my salad tonight and continue to let the flowers go so that I have seeds for next season. I also grabbed some of my red kale. My ducks and my chickens were staring at me, so they love fresh leaves. We'll share. I have some beautiful lettuce growing here, but then I spotted a few jalapenos on a bush, so I grabbed those off. I'll add those to the tomato salsa that I'm going to make. Oh, and a cute little baby broccoli coming. Grab some dill. And my harvest is pretty good. I'm happy with what I got, and I just love my new cup, Gardener of the Year with the shovel spoon. My sister-in-law, so sweet. Here I ended up grabbing my brown pods and just started removing the cowpea. I take one end off, slide my fingernail down the center, and they pop right out. It's no work at all. Once I got them all together, I moved on to the green pods. These ones are a little bit more work, but it's not a problem. They're more fibrous and moist, so you need to be careful that you don't damage the pea when removing them from the pod, but honestly, it's really not a lot of work, and I think it's just really, really worth it. You know where your food's coming from, you're growing it yourself. It's very, very rewarding. And honestly, too, I just put on a show, and I'm happy. Once I removed all of my green peas from their pods, I added it to boiling water, and I only boiled them for 2 minutes. It's just a parboil, and I put the cover on. I wouldn't boil them any longer than that because they'll get mushy, and I don't know that you're gonna like that in an existing meal. Once they were done, I rinsed and cooled them, and I placed them into the freezer for a future use. I didn't label these because I know I'm going to use them very, very soon. I then moved on to my dried peas. I put them into a glass jar. I did label the top here so that they can go into the pantry, and I got about a half a cup, which is great for today, so I'm pleased with that. And I'll have some dried peas for future use, so that's great. Thank you all for coming along with me today, and I hope you have a blessed one. Enjoy!